ball game here. First team to 21. If it's 2 sets, we'll take it to 15 in the third if needs be, but you must win by 2 clear points. And Smedins get the first of the semi-finals underway here in GSTAAD, Switzerland. And what a great start for the big man on court, Robert Meeuwsen. Powers that one down and puts the first side out on the board for the Dutch.
It's going to be interesting what strategy the Dutch use. Do they go to Smedins, who has all the shots in the world, or do they go to the powerful Samoilovs?
Brouwer with service. Here's the set now for Samoilovs. Oh, nice put away for Samoilov. Samoilovs, I should say, 1-all.
Yeah, he's a great hitter. He's powerful. He gets up outside. Look at his range, how he can go cross court at that very sharp angle. Meeuwsen's going to have to watch out for that.
Here's the set for the big man, Meeuwsen. Drills it right down to the feet of Samoilovs. 2-1, another side out. Switching and trading sides out in the early exchanges here. Service back with the Dutch, number 2 with the ball. This is Robert Meeuwsen, 27-year-old out of The Hague. Meeuwsen serves it, Meeuwsen scores it. Important break point for the Dutch.
Yeah, Meeuwsen really playing well right now, and that's what the Dutch have done good all weekend long. They've done it really well, converting in transition. When they get an opportunity, they really set themselves up well, and there you see Samoilovs just out of reach, so the Netherlands off to a really strong start.
Here's Meeuwsen again with service. Samoilovs sets Smedins. Nice little poke ball, well read. Taking it on the second hit, the Dutch no choice. Well read by the Latvian player, Alexandra Samoilovs.
Samoilovs, a very popular player on the tour with those flowing locks of hair. They call him the Lion King. And he has had quite a career. Remember this team, Smedins and Samoilovs, in 2013 were the team of the year, and they won the FIVB Tour Champion.
Just a little out of position. Brouwer and Meeuwsen, a chance for Latvia to come back here, and they do just that, tying the scores at 3-all. All came from the good serve from the Latvians.
Yeah, at the beginning of a match like this, in the semifinal, these teams are going to kind of feel one another out, kind of find out what the tendency is, and then try to exploit that tendency as the match goes on.
Smedins serves. Brouwer sets up Meeuwsen. That cross-court spike, we watched it earlier this week, so accurate, so powerful. So difficult to dig.
That time, though, out of bounds. And point for Latvia. So trying to be a little bit too sharp for the Netherlands. Trying to be a little bit too particular. Samoilovs and Smedins, very great defensive team.
This time opting for the float over the top of the Latvian blocker. Leveling the scores at 4-all.
This team of Smedins and Samoilovs in Moscow, they played, and after the tournament, Smedins didn't feel right, so he went and got his right knee MRI'd, and he actually had some problems with his meniscus, had surgery on the meniscus after Moscow, which was just a few months ago. So he has been sidelined ever since, now back in the mix, and he's looking pretty solid.
Absolutely, that's quite a remarkable story. Unlucky there for Samoilovs, and Samoilovs allows the Dutch to side out, level the score. Here's the tallest man on court, Robert Meeuwsen. Played brilliantly in the first major of our series. They were very impressive to beat the #1 seeds here as well, and their teammates Varenhoff and Numador. That's a very good spike from Samoilovs.
Samoilovs, he's come a long way. Remember, he and partner Martin Plavins in 2008 actually beat Phil Dahlhauser and Todd Rogers early on in the Olympic competition, which caused a massive stir, but of course they were unable to be successful, finishing 9th, whereas Dahlhauser and Rogers went on to win Olympic gold. So he's had a very storied career, and like I said, in 2013, Samoilovs and Smedins, the team of the year.
It's a little confusing for me, Dane, I have to say. This relationship that both players have with Martin Plavins. One week they're playing with him, the next week they're not. They're part of the Olympic squad, they're not. And he plays with both Samoilovs and Smedins. Quite bizarre.
It really is bizarre. It's almost, you know, three players just kind of rotating around as that ball goes out of bounds. But you're absolutely right. Samoilovs played with Martin Plavins in 2008. They got 9th in the Olympics. They actually played a week ago in the World Championships and got 17th. Smedins played with Plavins in the 2012 Olympics and got a bronze medal. So they've been mixing it up, but I think this might be the strongest combination, Smedins and Samoilovs, and they're having quite a weekend here in GSTAAD.
It's an interesting story that I'm sure the press will pick up on, the media will pick on, because of course it's a two-man sport and only two of them can go to the Olympic Games in Rio next year. Well, but for now, at the first timeout, each team can call a timeout. We have a technical timeout when there's 21 points on the board, and we have a side switch at every 7 points in the first 2 sets. 8-5. Latvia looking good here in the early exchanges, even though we're a little confused as to where Martin Plavins is this week here in GSTAAD. I think Dane Blanton himself, a former Olympic gold medalist, has hit the nail on the head. This is the best, I think, duo that Latvia can field on the FIVB World Tour, can field in the Swatch Beach Volleyball Major Series, and it is Latvia's best hope of another Olympic medal. Remember, Jan Smedins, with service right now, picked up the bronze in London 2012. Great shot from Meeuwsen.
Meeuwsen looking really good. The thing with the Netherlands, they're such athletic players. They're so tall. That 6'6" Brouwer and that 6'9" Meeuwsen. Very difficult to decide who you want to serve the ball.
Taking full advantage of the side out, the Dutch. Here we go again with, into the net though for Brouwer, going for the big jump serve. A lot of topspin on the ball, not quite getting the timing right. So Latvia 3 clear. Here is Alexander's Samoilovs with service. The set comes from Meeuwsen. Brouwer now sets for Meeuwsen. Great finish from Brouwer. My mistake.
Yeah, big hit right there by Brouwer. He gets up. There's the roll shot that is touched by Smedins at the net, and then Brouwer has an opportunity to end the rally, and he goes right at Smedins, challenging the block high over the top.
Meeuwsen, number 2 in the orange shirt for Holland with the service. Samoilovs sets for Smedins. He too just gets it over the fingers, but a great dig from Brouwer. Can't take it for the second time. And Latvia maintain their 3-point advantage here.
Latvia really solid right now. We called this team, Samoilovs and Smedins, possibly the best team they could field, but I think we'd get an argument because Smedins and Plavins won the Olympic bronze. But, you know, as you said, it's a two-man sport. There's no room for a third wheel. But you never know. They could switch it up in the future as well. But this team is strong. They're finally getting their stride here in 2015, finally breaking into the top 4. And they're both accustomed to winning. 5 wins for Smedins, 4 wins for Samoilovs.
Oh, he's got his serve in this time, Brouwer. And good work at the net. An important point and side out. But now trailing by just 1. Good service run here, this, from Alexander Brouwer. Just 25 years of age, youngest player on the court.
So that block was blocked off of Samoilovs. It happened so quickly.
Here's Brouwer now looking to finish it. Well read by Samoilovs. Can he finish it? Oh, the big man saw that one, read it perfectly. Smedins tries to power that spike cross court, but puts it out and allows the Dutch to level the scores at 10-all.
Smedins, usually such an accurate player, has such a high volleyball IQ and such great court vision, usually doesn't make many errors. There you see Meeuwsen just hovering, throwing the ball back, and then the presence of Meeuwsen in the face of Smedins forces him to go too sharp and out of bounds.
This is a good service run from Alexander Brouwer. Here's the set for Samoilovs. Not quite with the timing where he wanted it there, Meeuwsen. Side out for the Latvians. 21, technical timeout. Small break.
It's always interesting to see where we stand at this point. You see the poke shot by Samoilovs and a good touch by Meeuwsen, and because Brouwer in the backcourt already committing to that angle, wasn't able to change directions and get back and get that ball in the air, unfortunately. But right now, very evenly matched teams, 11-10. That's where you want to be. You want to be keeping it close. But the team that can really start to make an impact from that back line. We haven't seen any real big serves, service aces, no stuff blocks. Those things have to start happening, and they start to happen once you hone in on the opposition's tendency. And so that's what all four players will be focusing on, trying to get a feel for what each player is going to do today.
Had some quality players out there, no question of a doubt. The Dutch took the World Championship title in 2013, as we've already referred to. Yanis Smedins, the Olympic bronze medalist from London 2012. And very much the focus for both of these teams is Rio 2016. It's coming around very quickly, the next summer Olympic Games. Samoilovs with the service. Brouwer on the attack. Oh, it's a good dig save. And the Latvians, do brilliantly to keep the ball up. Great block at the net from Alexandra Samoilovs. The 30-year-old out of Riga will take a massive confidence boost from this block.
Finally a block of these really tall players out here, very athletic. It's surprising it took this long to get the first stuff block, but Samoilovs up big and pressing over the net with both hands. Great form.
Samoilovs it is with service. Meeuwsen attacking at the net. Well read. You so expect him to be hard-hitting and aggressive, but he's got a lot of finesse to his shots as well as the power on the spike.
You're absolutely right, and that's surprising for a guy who is 6'9", very tall, very lanky, but very athletic at the same time.
Here is the 27-year-old Dutch player, Meeuwsen with service. Only just keeps it going here, the Latvian. Samoilovs struggling to contain that power serve, and the Dutch finish it off as well, levering the score at 12 apiece.
Wow, the Dutch are such a difficult duo to deal with because this ball pushed over the net, a free ball situation, and every single time they attack you so aggressive, and that's what has made them so successful, and that's why they won that World Championship in 2013, and Meeuwsen will take the ace, even though it's a let serve dribbler. That is a live ball, and nonetheless an ace serve. So the first ace of the game right there by the Netherlands.
Oh, another serve off the tape. Great shot from Samoilovs. 13-all, very close, as we expected in this first of the two semi-finals. Here's Yanis Smedins with service for Latvia. Oh, right on the line. Great shot.
That's just a really solid shot from the 6'9" Meeuwsen on the right side. As you said, you expect this guy to come in and just bomb the ball, but look at his accuracy in his shot making. He's basically pinpointing any spot he wants.
It's Brouwer that loves to belt the ball for the Dutch rather than Meeuwsen. That's another almost identical shot in return for Latvia to Holland. Samoilovs puts a valuable point on the board for the Latvians. Side switch, 14-all.
Yeah, you switch sides so no one gets that advantage due to sun or the wind, but I'll tell you right now, it's dead still in the stadium. No wind advantage. It is very still. The weather is basically perfect for beach volleyball. You couldn't ask for better conditions.
That's a lovely set. Oh, beautiful play from the Dutch.
Nice roll shot off the top right there. The Dutch having that 1-point lead, but here you see Meeuwsen reaching high, snapping hard, not going for the super hard kill, but more the placement shot.
That's been the nature of his game so far, Meeuwsen. Very skillful with the placement of the ball. Not so skillful with the serve. A little frustrating. Easy side out for the Latvians. 15 points all. Smedins with serve for Latvia in the white and red shirts, remember? Meeuwsen. Oh! And every time Meeuwsen tries the power shot, Samoilovs is there to block it. Second big block of the match so far for the Latvian. Here it is in slow motion.
Look at him get up and press into the angle. Being deceptive as a blocker is key.
Ooh, a difficult little float serve from Smedins. Float ball, though, from Brouwer. The rainbow shot, as it's referred to. Beautiful skill, because they were out of position off that very tricky serve from the Latvians.
I'm really impressed with Meeuwsen's shot-making ability right now. How he's composed, very patient, but aggressive at the same time.
Still trading side-outs at 16 all. Smedins sets the ball up for Samoilovs. Oh, there's a lovely power shot there.
Goodness, are you kidding me? He absolutely hammered that ball at the moving defender in the backcourt. Brouwer just didn't really know what hit him. I mean, that was probably the hardest hit we've seen so far in this match.
Samoilovs serves. Here's a set from Brouwer for Meeuwsen. There again is that finesse, that touch on the ball. The Dutch number 2 has been demonstrating throughout the early clashes in this semi-final.
Such great technique, and a guy at 6'9" who jumps well, brings in that big double arm lift. Looks like he's going to hit that power shot and uses the finesse to perfection.
Here is Meeuwsen with the serve. Samoilovs sets for Smedins. Great block from Meeuwsen. Read that perfectly.
So finally, the Netherlands get on the board with their first block, an impressive stuff block, and it couldn't come at a better time. This is where you want to start to make a move, kind of shift gears, and try to get some separation. But these two teams, very even.
Smedins on the attack for Latvia. Oh, and no, the point is given to Latvia.
Great shot, using the entire court right there. Smedins goes for that deep back corner. A lot of players don't understand. You don't have to hit the ball straight down. You can use that deep back corner very effectively. Great dig by Smedins.
Oh, unlucky Latvia. Good point for the Dutch. You called it, Dane. Spectacular dig off the power spike from Brouwer, but not enough to earn the point.
Yeah, Brouwer really comes in with a full head of steam every time. In transition, he's going to try to make you make a big play, because he's going to power that ball anytime he gets the opportunity.
Latvia call a timeout.
Yeah, it's a good timeout. You know, they're down a point, and they really don't want to let things slip away right now. Take a little break, gather yourself, and get back in order. Here you see that deep float serve, jump float, and then Meeuwsen blasts it. Smedins digs it nicely. He'll have another opportunity to make a defensive play, but this time he can't pop it high enough in the air. Samoilovs grovels through the sand, trying to keep it alive, but this ball has to come up higher rather than going low and straight, enabling Latvia to keep it alive.
$19 points to 18. The orange shirts of Holland just one ahead of the Latvians in the white and red shirts. We are down to the business end of set 1 here. The calculation is really quite simple. The Latvians must side out on this point. And the Dutch will be looking good for the first set. Oh, my word! That is, well, lady luck. Some may say beyond belief. The smash serve almost sitting on the top of the net for a split second. It dropped the right side. It is now set point for Holland. Another big power serve from Brouwer. Smedins attacks for Latvia, keeps them in the match.
Wow, Brouwer was right there, but Smedins hit just a little bit too tough to handle. I have to say that the Netherlands have gotten this advantage by taking advantage of their serving game. They have served the ball tougher, put Latvia in a precarious situation.
Here's Samoilovs with service. Here's Brouwer on the attack. This is for the first set. Remember, it's gone. 21-19. Holland take the first set against Latvia. Turning on the heat, turning up the pace. Towards the end, certainly within the last 4 points of that first set.
Really impressive the way that the Netherlands handled this first set. Very composed. They played aggressive when they needed to. They pulled it back when they needed to. And just great teamwork. You can see that the chemistry between those two players, Brouwer and Meeuwsen, is really strong. They know each other's moves, where one another are going to go, even before the other guy knows. It's just that instinct, and it really showed in that victory, 21-19. So the Netherlands have a nice edge. Now they can kind of relax, get more in their comfort zone, because when you have that set under your belt, there's not quite that sense of urgency. For Latvia, though, they're going to have to serve tougher, I believe, in set number 2 if they are going to turn the tide here. They just got out-served, and it was, I'm talking 2 or 3 serves that made the difference. Remember, 2 dribblers over the top of the net for the Netherlands for aces. That's the difference in the first set right there.
Certainly with a little bit of luck, but that's the way the ball can roll. It can go against you, it can go for you. It certainly went for the Dutch in those last 3 to 4 points of the first set. Former Olympic champion Dave Blanton from California, USA, has summed it up perfectly. The pressure slightly off the Dutch in orange, definitely on the Latvians in white and red. Latvia must win this second set to stay in the match if they're to go through to the final and take a shot at gold. Samoilovs up on the attack. Little poke ball works beautifully. First point on the board for Latvia.
Solid side out right there. That's what Latvia has to do. Be very composed, pass the ball well, keep their offense in system, make it easy on themselves so that they have all the options to put that ball away.
Smedins serves. Serves it to Meeuwsen. Brouwer with the set. Meeuwsen again with another lovely piece of finesse and excellent timing.
Really great shot right there by Meeuwsen. I'm so impressed with him, because usually big players, they just rely on that power and they don't hone that skill in, but he's just showing us his array of shots.
Well, also, Meeuwsen showing us how he's made the net his friend in his service play. Another remarkable serve that just takes all the speed out of the ball. Well read by Smedins, and Latvia doing exceptionally well to take the point and the lead at 2-1. Samoilovs with the service. There is the more traditional smash shot spike from Meeuwsen to level the scores at 2-all.
Yeah, that's what makes Meeuwsen one of the most dangerous players in the world offensively. Just don't know what he's going to do. He's got all sorts of options, and when he brings that power, he hits the ball at such a high point, it's hard to defend against. That ball look it's in. They gotta maybe look at that again. I don't know if we can get a replay of that, but that ball looked like it was very close.
Well, Nicolita Shupilidu having none of it. She's saying the ball is out. The score to Latvia. 3-2. Smedins serves. Oh. In a semi-final as tight as this, service error cannot be part of your game.
Well, I mean, it can, but you got to get some aces to change the ratio. If you're getting 1 ace to every couple of service errors, that's okay. But right now, Latvia, no service aces, and they have a handful of errors.
Second ball contact from Smedins.
That's what makes Smedins so good on the right side. He can come in because he's a left-hander and use that power hit on the second contact. That's the effectiveness of having a left-hander playing on the right side of the two-man team.
Samoilovs with service. Here's Meeuwsen on the attack. Again, reads it beautifully.
You know what? If I were coaching Latvia, I would maybe try to switch things up. Maybe go to Brouwer a few more times, because Samoilovs is a great blocker, and so is Smedins. And they may be able to block the power shot better than the finesse shots that we're seeing. And Meeuwsen up at the net's going to give a stuff block right back to Smedins. Look at him press over with that left hand. 6'9", pressing over. Real intimidating force.
I have to say, I'm very impressed with Meeuwsen's repertoire. Just about every shot out of the textbook so far in this first semi-final.
Not sure the argument there that Smedins and Samoilovs are talking to the head referee about, but they need to focus in on the opposition on the other side of the net and nothing else.
Alexander Brouwer with service. That's a good dig. Oh, this is what the crowd love to see. Great save from the Dutch. But lovely play from Latvia to match it. 5-all. That's what Dane Blanton was saying. The Latvians need to focus on their game, not the referee.
That was an amazing play. Look at this play. They come under the net. As long as you pull it back outside the antenna, you're okay. Now look at this. Samoilovs fakes out the blocker, pretending he's going to hit. Then he sets his partner. The Netherlands completely out of sorts, and a huge hit by Smedins.
Let's see more of that from Latvia to try and take this second set. Here's Meeuwsen on the attack for Holland. Good save from Smedins. Here's the sets from Samoilovs. And another point on the board. Referee sides with the Latvians this time. They take the lead at 6-5.
I agree with Meeuwsen, though. That ball was carried. It's open hand. Push. There's that open hand. It's got to be simultaneous if you come in with an open hand. And he did not. That should have been a throw ball or a carry. The referee, I believe, missed that play. You can't open hand dink on the beach. You can do that indoors. That's completely legal. But on 2-on-2 sand volleyball, you can't come in with an open hand and control that ball or push it into the block unless the blocker touches the ball simultaneously.
Smart call for a timeout by the Dutch side, I'd say. Starting to find some real momentum and creativity to their play, the Latvians, in the early part of this second set. Latvia with the advantage at 6 points to 5.
I'd like to see Latvia switch up their serving. They're going exclusively to Meeuwsen, and he's had a field day, right? I mean, his array of shots, his power, he's done everything. They've basically taken Brouwer out. Now, of course, they probably know something that I don't. They might not want to deal with that aggressiveness that Brouwer brings every time, because he's a big hitter. But I think the Latvians, as good a blocking team that they are, they might have more success trying to switch it up.
Well, no change in the tactic. Again, putting the ball to Meeuwsen.
I mean, don't you agree? Meeuwsen looks like he's batting 100%.
Absolutely. Right. I think it's the call. It's a shame they can't hear you, Dane.
No, I mean, it's good for the Netherlands, right?
Well, the Dutch are reading the Latvian play, and I think that's why they're looking the stronger team here. One set to love up. This to level the scores at 6-all. Here's Smedins on the attack for Latvia. Good cross-court shot. What a marvellous dig. Oh, and Brouwer nearly finishes it. On the second ball from Samoilovs. This time Meeuwsen again with that shot that has been so effective. Great rally, great play from both sides, but the Dutch come away with the point.
Well, it's a costly play by Samoilovs. Look at Brouwer sacrificing the body to keep it in play, and then the line shot is successful for Meeuwsen, but that overpass, or overset I should call it, from Samoilovs trying to trick the Dutch just didn't work.
6-all. Here's Robert Meeuwsen with service. Samoilovs sets for Smedins. Another fantastic dig from Brouwer. Oh, but this time Samoilovs has seen the gap, seen the opening. important side out for the Latvian players.
Brouwer just looks amazing. Just because he's not getting served and the Latvians are taking him out of his game offensively, he's making up for it on the defensive end. He's all over the court. He's getting the Dutch second and third opportunities, and if he keeps doing that, the Latvians could be in trouble.
Service from Samoilovs. Oh, a good block from Smedins, but not quite getting the direction of the ball he was hoping for. Lovely spike from Brouwer. The Dutch back with the 1 point advantage. And here is Brouwer with service. Serves it to Samoilovs. Set, and Samoilovs attacks. Lovely spike. Great shot.
Solid offensive attack here. Samoilovs, very offensive-minded. He loves that power shot.
Yanis Smedins puts the ball into the Dutch half. Here comes Meeuwsen on the attack. Oh, well, great dig from Smedins, and who finishes it? Oh, the Dutch keep the ball up. Here's the set for Smedins to attack. Down the alley, puts it away nicely. Great play from both teams. The crowd loving this.
Smedins has such good touch. Look at, he tries to go back and trick Brouwer, but Brouwer's not letting anything hit the sand right now. Look at that, a right hand, he breaks out his offhand and hits that ball, showing his athleticism. Smedins, one of my favorite players to watch because he's so skilled. Oh, wow. That was a sharp angle by the 6'9" Meeuwsen. It's always good, going back to that last play, when you see a guy like Smedins able to hit with the other arm. Ambidextrous, you don't see it very often out here, but he's quite the athlete, Smedins.
9-all. Meeuwsen with service for Holland. That's way too deep. Side out for the Latvians. And a 1 point advantage. Alexandros Samoilovs with service. Oh, what another amazing dig from Brouwer, and finishes it.
Oh my goodness, wow, Brouwer is everywhere, and this time he's able to convert. There's that back shot. Usually Smedins gets that to the ground, but not today. Brouwer is everywhere. He hits it, a little stare down through the net. I'll tell you what, Brouwer is starting to feel it.
Remarkable play from Brouwer, leveling the scores at 10 apiece, puts in a huge service. Smedins now on the attack for Latvia. Lovely tip ball. Oh, he was nearly there for that one as well. The speed that he's generating across the court, quite remarkable from Brouwer.
Yeah, he's everywhere, and the thing is, he's fully committed. When you play defense, if you can go all out every time, regardless of where the ball is, and not ever make a decision on whether you can get it up or not, you are going to be successful more times than not. I always tell defensive players, go for it. Don't make a decision. There's no time to think about whether you can be there or not. And you can tell he is in the zone right now defensively, and it's something really special to watch. Smedins and Samoilovs trying to figure out something. They're playing a very high level right now, but they just can't seem to break the Dutch. The Dutch seem extremely solid. The big knock against the Dutch over the years, especially after they won that world championship in 2013, is consistency. Some weekends they're here, some weekends they're nowhere to be found. And that's been a big challenge for the Dutch. Remember, they won in Croatia, and then a 9th in Stavanger, a 17th in the 2015 World Championships, where they went in as the defending champs. So that's a disappointing finish for them, and now playing on top of their game.
Latvia have got their work cut out here. Smedins with service. Brouwer sets for Meeuwsen. Again, a lovely tip ball. That's a nice dig from Smedins. No, that's not going to happen. Unlucky. They've had the fair share of luck with their service play, the Dutch. not quite going their way off the net here.
Look
Another superb dig from Smedins as well.
Look at that great dig by Smedins, and then he just powers it at Meeuwsen. He's tired of Meeuwsen digging his shots. He's just going to go right at him.
Too clear now, Latvia. They need to win this second set. That service is too deep. Important side out for the Dutch if they're to take this 2-0 sets, of course. Here's the big man. Robert Meeuwsen, I should say. 2.7 meters. Nice float service. Oh, lovely cross-court spike from Alexandra Samoilovs.
That's definitely one of his favorite shots. You have to be careful because he also can hit that ball down the line, so he's got quite a range.
Oh, the first mistake at the net. We've seen this all through this semi-final from Brouwer, and possibly feeling a little intimidated by Samoilovs there at the net.
Well, Brouwer getting his first serve. That's the first time they went to him. That's what I've been saying. Go to Brouwer and try to switch things up. They go right back to Meeuwsen, and what happens? They pay immediately. They pay immediately.
Good point that you make, Dane.
Not sure they didn't recognize that they just got that point off of Brouwer, and then they went back to Meeuwsen. It's not that Brouwer's any less of a player, but the thing is, right now, Meeuwsen is not giving up anything.
Here's Brouwer with service for the Dutch. Oh, again. What's that, the third, the fourth time that the ball has just sat on top of the net but dropped the Latvian side to give the Dutch the point.
Every ace has been that dribbler off the top of the net, which is completely legal. And sure, it's a little luck, but they're kind of going for that sharp ball, and if it clips the net, then they'll take it.
Oh, lovely shot. Samoilovs saw that and read it perfectly. Saw the gap opening up. Maintaining the Latvian 2-point advantage here in the second set.
It's a good shot. He was very fortunate. He's jumping backwards when he hits that set, so when you're jumping backwards, you don't have great court vision.
Yanis Smedins with service. Serves Brouwer this time. Oh, not quite the direction with the ball on the block for Samoilovs.
But at least they touched the ball. They got in a position where he could have possibly blocked that ball, and Brouwer uses him out of bounds, but they haven't even been able to touch Meeuwsen.
Here is Meeuwsen with service.
So yeah, they're trying to almost hit that net on the serve. They're really going for that small room for error area, and more times than not, they'll take those 3 aces.
Now the Latvians need to try and close this second set out now. Here's Meeuwsen on the attack. Oh, Smedins gets the block, the stuff block from the smallest man on the court.
Finally a block. At just 6'3" Smedins, one of the best technically sound blockers on tour.
Samoilovs with service. Set for Meeuwsen. That shot has been so effective for the big Dutch player.
Yeah, he had to say to himself, why did I try to challenge the block on the last time when I could have just done that shot? Just rolled it over, made it easy on myself.
Here's Brouwer with service for the Netherlands. Sends it to the feet of Smedins. Oh, great tip ball from the Latvian player.
Smedins has such control. He's so hard to figure out because he can make that adjustment at the very last second, and if you're a defender, you have to be very disciplined and wait in your position and not commit. Another solid side-out point for the Netherlands as Meeuwsen continues to be the primary offensive attacker, and Brouwer is sure getting his practice as a setter.
Here's Meeuwsen with service. If we keep siding out this way, the Latvians will take the second set. Smedins with the set. And Smedins looks to finish. Great shot. He too finding a lovely angle at the net.
That's what I'm talking about. The defender committed to the line, and as soon as you commit, Smedins is going to see you. That's the trick on defense, is to wait, 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 but it takes a lot of discipline not to cheat and to take off in one direction.
Samoilovs with service for Latvia. Oh, that's disappointing. There was a chance to take set point there. They'll have to make this side out. Pressure on Latvia here to stay in the match, but with a 2-point advantage, if they can side out, they should be on track to keep their hopes alive. What a great service. Samoilovs sets Smedin. Oh, great work. Set ball. Set point for Latvia to make it 1 set all and take this to 3. Let's see if Smedins can wrap it up nice and quickly. Brouwer. Great shot. Well, he may be the defensive player of this match so far, but he can sure attack.
He sure can, and out of respect possibly to him, that's maybe why the Latvians are avoiding him.
They've clearly done their homework. Here is Robert Meeuwsen with service for Holland. Still set point for Latvia. Samoilovs. Yes, it's there! 21-18. Latvia's hopes of qualifying and moving through to their first final of the 2015 season stay alive. The second set going to Latvia, the first to Holland. It will all go down to the third, where we'll have another toss of the coin, and we'll only go to 15 points.
Here's Samoilovs. Gets that opportunity, challenges Meeuwsen down the line, tools the block out of bounds, and there's that fist pump. We haven't seen a lot of emotion out of the Latvians. They've just been very stoic, going about their business, knew that they were in a pressure situation going into the second set, and they did what was necessary. They put pressure on the Netherlands, didn't necessarily do anything spectacular. They were just solid from start to finish, and they end up winning by a 3-point edge. If the Latvians can turn up their serve, play as consistent as they did in the second set, they should be pretty solid going into this third. For the Netherlands, they need to turn that serve up, which they've been doing. That's been the slight advantage that they've had, but they have to get a couple more blocks, I believe. And neither team, like I said, playing with a ton of emotion. It is still early in the morning, still heating up. It's just finally getting over about 70 degrees here. And you got to get into it, because this is a huge match for both of these squads when you look at Olympic qualifying points. If you win this, you are assured at least a silver medal in this major series, and that's where you want to be, playing on Sunday afternoon in front of a packed house here in GSTAAD. Right now the players trying to figure out which side, who won the toss. We're not exactly sure, but the players smiling, going about it right now. Looks like the Netherlands will be on the near side, and the Latvians on the far side taking the court right now. The Latvians have opted to receive serve. Usually you have an advantage when you're receiving serve, so they want to get that first point on the board.
Alexander Brouwer gets the third set underway here, serving Smedins. No choice but to take it on the second ball. Samoilovs, but taking it effectively. Latvia put the first score down. They won the toss, asked the Dutch to serve, and side out. First tactical play works well for Latvia. Smedins with service now. Serving Meeuwsen. Meeuwsen now. Oh, that is a perfect shot.
Not only precise, but with all sorts of power. Hitting that deep corner is not easy, and there's so much room for error, but Meeuwsen, he makes it look easy.
Side out for the Dutch. Meeuwsen it is with service. Oh, that's easy for Brouwer, and then now he gets onto the attack. Oh, a little error from Meeuwsen.
No, that's not a little error. That's a major error right now. That was a huge point-scoring opportunity to give the Netherlands the lead, and there the set the overpass, and he cannot handle it. He will really want that one back.
Oh, and has that error just affected the concentration of Robert Meeuwsen?
Absolutely it did. That's what happens. You get runs of points in volleyball if you don't focus in, and wow, we're going to have a very early timeout by the Dutch. But two major errors right there for Meeuwsen, and maybe that is what Latvia has been waiting for. Maybe they know that he is prone to making a couple errors here and there, and he's been rock solid up until now, but two flagrant errors. You know, that overpass has to be, it's almost like a layup in basketball. It's almost that easy. An overpass like that, you got to put that ball away, especially at 6'9" at the net. And like you said, maybe a lapse of concentration that translates into the next play, and all of a sudden, the Latvians have a quick 2-point lead.
Smedins on the right of your screen. Samoilovs on the left. Great start for Latvia in this third set. 3-1. Samoilovs will pick up service once again. Let's see if that timeout called by the Dutch has worked, hoping for a break in the concentration from the Latvian players, and certainly hoping for a refocus from Robert Meeuwsen, who hasn't started this third set in the best of form. Oh, it's there. A little bit of lady luck this time. Goes Latvia's way. But most importantly, they open up a 3-point advantage.
Samoilovs in the defensive slot, doesn't flinch with that power ball from Brouwer coming right at him. It goes over the net, fortunately for Samoilovs, and it stays in bounds. So right now, Latvia making the big plays, and that's why they have this 3-point lead.
Samoilovs again with service. Serves Brouwer. Brouwer on the attack.
Double contact.
Oh, it's going wrong. It's turning into a nightmare for Meeuwsen here.
It really is. You know, we had that hit into the net, then we had the hit error, and now a double contact called on him. So he's given up 3 very valuable points, and Latvia taking advantage.
Here's Brouwer on the attack. That's a very important side out for the Dutch. Trailing by 3.
You notice the Latvians have started to go to Brouwer a little bit more, and he hasn't been receiving quite the perfect set from Meeuwsen that he's been giving Meeuwsen the entire match.
Here is Brouwer with service. Samoilovs sets Smedins. Oh, again! The work was done from the block, but he never expected to have it back.
That was pure luck reaction right here. Smedins gets stuffed right down and just throws an arm at it. Fortunately, it comes over the net. So right now, everything going the way of the Latvians. They're playing at a very high level, and the ball is rolling their way.
A reflex action for Smedins, and he serves for Latvia. Little confusion from the Dutch here. Gives, Samoilovs an easy shot, 7-2, and this is something that we have never seen in this major series from this Dutch duo. They look to be falling apart. There looks to be a bit of confusion, and their game is nothing like it was in the first set. Smedins again with service. Brouwer sets Meeuwsen. Block at the net. Well picked up by Brouwer. Can Brouwer finish it? Samoilovs. Again, Brouwer on the attack. This time the Dutch side out, put the ball away. And they're playing to try and stay in this third set. Remember, it's a bit of a sprint, the third set, only to 15 points.
Yeah, I've never seen this quite happen to this Dutch squad, but maybe this is the reason that we've had some inconsistencies for them in the early matches. Right now, the Latvians have been solid, consistent, and it, as you said, Nick, has turned into a little bit of a nightmare early on in the third set for the Dutch.
Oh, great play from both teams, but Latvia come out on top, maintaining that 5-point advantage at 8-3.
Samoilovs and Smedins very composed. They get blocked, they cover themselves, they get back in position and end up winning the point.
Oh, good shot from Brouwer. Well, maybe the Dutch now are questioning whether it was a good idea to use their timeout so early on.
Yeah, I think, you know, it actually was a smart move because they could sense something. They could sense the momentum switching and things kind of slipping away. But right now, they are going to have to figure it out. No more breaks for the Netherlands.
Samoilovs attacking. Goes for the little drop shot. Works perfectly. 9-4. Side out Latvia. 5 points clear. They're looking good for a spot in the final here.
They're looking really good, and you got to give them a lot of credit because they've turned this match completely around after losing that first set.
Great shot from Meeuwsen there.
Here's the thing. The damage has been done by the Latvians. Now it's just about receiving serve and taking care of business. And you know what? Jānis Smedins is such a great leader that he knows how to make sure that that happens. He doesn't give up a lot of errors. He's very stoic and goes about business. And I would imagine he will just make it happen with smooth strokes like that, putting the ball right down the middle in between the defense, and having a 5-point lead in a game to 15 is exactly where you want to be. So give a lot of credit to these Latvians who I would imagine will be headed not only to their first Final Four now, but to their first final.
Samoilovs with service. That's a great shot from Brouwer. Pulling it back to give the shot to Meeuwsen. That's a little bit more like the skill that we saw from the Dutch in that first set. But as Dane has pointed out, they've just got to keep siding out. The Latvians now to book themselves a spot in the final for the first time this season. Brouwer with service. Samoilovs sets it up for Smedins. Samoilovs does a great save, and can he finish it with the tricky, beautifully timed poke ball? 11-6, the Latvians are 5 clear again.
Well, they're covering themselves. They're playing great volleyball on the broken plays. Because you know with volleyball, no two plays are alike. And they're adjusting to these kind of scrappy plays and making it happen.
Smedins. That's the first cross-court spike that hasn't gone the Latvians' way. Still in a spectacular position, the Latvians here. 11-7. Such an important side out that for the Dutch. There's Smedins just brushing himself down.
Latvia is going to call a timeout here. A little confusion right there. They don't want to let things get out of hand, and that, like I said, is what Smedins is so good at. Making sure he called a timeout and making sure that his team recomposes itself and gets ready. They are in control of this, so I think a very timely timeout in terms of getting back on track. You got that timeout, why not use it and not wait until the momentum swings back to the Dutch side? You want to keep them down right now, and that's what the Latvians have done. I'm extremely impressed. Every match is different. It's almost its own story in itself. And if you looked at that first set, you say, wow, it was close, but the solid team would be the Netherlands. The Latvians have completely flipped the script, if you would call it, and taken control. And right now, just 4 points away from booking that spot in their first final of 2015. Remember, they have not played since Moscow, when afterwards Smedins got that meniscus worked on that right knee, and he looks solid.
Meeuwsen with service. Smedins with a lovely little tip ball, but well read by Brouwer. Can he finish it? Oh no, the ball is still up. Oh.
That ball bounced, but Latvia tried to play it off as if they got it up. Here, we'll take a look at it. It bounces before Smedins. He gets it up off the ricochet of the sand. And they're not going to fool anybody on that one.
Important score for the Dutch. Meeuwsen again with service. Samoilovs sets it up for Smedins. Good block at the net from Brouwer. Oh, is that too long? Now, this will cause some fireworks.
Wow, that was close.
Very close.
Hopefully we can get a replay of that shot in the corner, and there it is. Look at that roll. That's just out of bounds, it looks like. Here's another great angle, and oh, it is so close, I cannot tell. If I were the referee, I would get off the stand and go take a look at that, but they're going to call that ball out of bounds. So look at this. The Netherlands creeping their way back in.
Meeuwsen with service. Samoilovs sets for Smedins here. Oh, and Brouwer cannot stop that one. 12-9. Such an important side out for Latvia in their quest to reach their first final of 2015. Do the Dutch have the answers here? Samoilovs with service. Here's the set for Brouwer on the attack. Right down the middle of the two Latvian players. 10-12.
It looks like the strategy for the Dutch is to go to Smedins. Samoilovs needs to make sure that he sets that ball inside rather than outside for Smedins to get that offensive attack.
Brouwer serves it to Smedins. Samoilovs sets for his teammate. Tries to poke it over the top. Samoilovs takes it on the second ball. 13-10. Latvia are so close to going through to the final.
Really impressed how Samoilovs can hit that ball on two. Very good court awareness, and he goes for the four corners. He loves those deep two corners as well.
Smedins with service for Latvia. Here's the big man Meeuwsen on the attack. Well read by Smedins. This time Brouwer attacks for the Dutch. Smedins is there again. Samoilovs sets it up for his teammate. It's a good shot. On the second ball, 14-10, match point for Latvia.
Looks like Alexander Brouwer actually might have twisted his ankle at the end of the play right there, trying to get up. Samoilovs executing any opportunity he gets, but I think Brouwer is hurt right now. Not sure if the Latvians know it.
Smedins should go to Brouwer if he's seen that. He goes to Meeuwsen. Meeuwsen now on the attack. At the net! Oh, unlucky there for Samoilovs.
Yeah, take a look at Brouwer right now. He's limping his way off the court, around the pole, walking gingerly. I think it was his left ankle. So we'll keep an eye on that to see if it plays a part. But right now, the Latvians just 1 point away.
Here's Robert Meeuwsen with service. Again, off the taping of the net. It's as if that's something that he's practiced and practiced hard. Fourth or fifth time he's put down an ace, thanks to the tape right at the top of the net.
Fourth ace, and every one of them have been off the top of the net. Incredible.
Remarkable play. Can he keep it going and keep Holland in this match? Third match point for Latvia. Oh, it's there! Latvia with Alexander Samoilovs and Jānis Smedins go through to their first major series final of 2015, their first final on the FIVB World Tour. The Olympic bronze medalist Jānis Smedins with his new partner Samoilovs celebrate on centre court. The Latvians are through. They have put out the number 3 seeds, Alexander Brouwer and Robert Meeuwsen.
A real incredible turnaround in this match. Here's the end, a serve right into the bottom of the net. It seemed like the Netherlands were going for that little top of the net roller. They had 4 aces doing it, but Latvia able to overcome the 6'9" and 6'6" Meeuwsen and Brouwer. The force that they are. At the beginning of the third set, things just really unraveled, fell apart for the Dutch, and they were never able to recover.
Really uncharacteristic play from Robert Meeuwsen. He lost 4 points so quickly with schoolboy errors, and they never seemed to recover. In the closing stages of that third set, a little ankle injury as well. So here's the confirmation. The first set, 21-19, going to the Dutch, then 21-18, then 15-12. Latvia coming back with a vengeance to book themselves a spot in the final. Holland will have to battle it out in the bronze medal match later this afternoon.
The Dutch, they're going to have to really, go back to the drawing board and figure things out.
Let's go down to Julius Brink at centre court with the Latvian winners of this first semi-final.
Tell me, first Swatch Major Series final, how are you feeling?
I feel great. Yeah, it's our first major series, and we're in the final. And I was dreaming about this cowbell since I started to playing GSTAAD like 9 years ago, and finally we'll get it, and we will fight for the biggest one.
So there's one more match to play, but you definitely have a cowbell, even if it's a silver one. So you actually kicked out the former world champion, and there might be another world champion waiting. Talking about that.
It's possible, yeah. It's ball is round, and I think in the semifinal we will win the strongest one.
So actually, it's your partner who's been injured for a couple of tournaments. How good is it to be back?
It's very nice because I get injured and Alex didn't play for 1 month, and I feel bad not only for myself but also for my partner. And it's good to be back, yeah, for sure.
It's great to have you back. Good luck in the final.
Well, it's good to see Latvia back at their best. Remember, Smedins, who was out through injury at the early part of the season, is clearly back to his best. The bronze medalist from the 2012 London Summer Olympic Games with his teammate Alexandra Samoilovs. The man they call the Lion King certainly roared like a lion when they won this semi-final. They really did find a rhythm and an impressive focus right to the end of that third set to get the better of Brouwer and Meeuwsen. And the stats speak for themselves. Very close on the blocks. The aces there from Meeuwsen. We thought that would be good enough to give the Dutch the pathway through to the final, but it was tenacity, grit and determination, I'd say, that put Latvia through to the final. Let's take a look at the best of the action from this first semi-final here at the Swatch Beach Volleyball Major Series, GSTAAD, Switzerland.
Take your time, you're not alone. Feel your sky. Doesn't mean anything. Come with me. It's our time to shine. Holding tight, then letting go. All your life. Not afraid of heights. We're wide awake. We'll never break. We'll reach for the sky. It doesn't mean anything. Come with me. It's our time to shine.
Spectacular first semi-final, and the second promises to be equally as entertaining, with Carambula and Rangieri of Italy going up against the newly crowned world champions Alison and of course Bruno Schmidt. And that will be coming up in just a few moments' time. Until then, from Nick Fellows and the Olympic champion Dane Blanton, many thanks for your company. It's goodbye for now.